What's going on, everybody? Stubbs here from Retro Handhelds, here with my good buddies Rob, the Retro Tech Dad, Joey from Joey's Retro Handhelds, and my co-host, Mr. Aish of this very channel here. We are rocking and rolling with the Retroid Pocket 4. We're going to see what this thing is all about. This was sent to us for review by Retroid. Thank you, Retroid. And thank you all who have been waiting patiently while we get all of our beans together and get my notes together here. Okay, so should we look at the thing here? What is this? Retroid Pocket 4. You guys heard of this thing? So I was surprised DHL was very fast, except for Joey's. I'm sorry, Joey. And
yeah, mine was supposed to arrive Monday as well, so I was very surprised when I got the text message this morning.
This is the throwing things. This is the Pro unit, and this is the 16-bit PAL. I have to call this out. The first thing though is that USB cables matter. Okay, look at this. This is a fancy,
Yep, they got
new edition. It's not sort of the usual generic white cord. This is like a really solid feeling cord. So here it is, the long-awaited Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. Okay, well, let's do some first thoughts here. Weight feels really, really nice. I kind of want to compare it to, I don't know, let's do the Pocket Air weight comparison. It's definitely lighter than the Pocket Air, but it feels well balanced. Yeah, and we'll have switch over to Rob's feed here for a quick comparison compared to the RP3.
I'm gonna grab my metal one since I think it'll stand out better in the camera.
Cool.
Oh, it's very slightly chunkier.
It's really. I actually posted a pretty clean shot on my Twitter, and yeah, it's really similar.
Do you have an RP2S on hand as well?
I do. Yes. Let me grab that here.
Because I believe the face buttons are going to be the same.
So pretty similar in thickness as well. And
nice.
then yeah, the face button should be.
Rob, what's your first impressions? Just touching it, he sort of just.
So like when I first held it in my hand, I actually was really pleasantly surprised about the plastic, the way it feels. It has a really nice texture to it. It actually feels like my transparent purple one. It has kind of that same matte feel to it.
Yeah,
nice
I know.
Thing too is, I mean, like, it's not really picking up any fingerprints. It's just a really nice plastic that they're using here. Yeah, it's so light. I mean, it's crazy that we're getting now more power in this size, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, and what are the specs on this one? We can go over this real quick. I know it's the D1200, or sorry, the D1100 in the Pro here, and we have the D900 in the non-Pro.
Yeah,
correct. Yep,
should be 8 gigs of RAM, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, 8 gigs of RAM.
5,000 milliamp battery.
Yep.
USB-C video out.
And micro HDMI.
Micro HDMI. Yeah, both actually.
Yeah.
So with the USB-C out, it does up to 4K 60?
No, 1080.
1080, okay.
Yeah.
The other one's only does 720, right?
That's right.
So this is the RP4 again, and it has Hall sticks. It has a clicky D-pad, rubber membrane face buttons that feel just like the 2S. Kind of the same amount of depression there. Same sticks, same D-pad. Has a nice matte shell. I like that it's not glossy at all on this. Very simple, clear branding here, which is very...
I like that. I like that it's just
I like that too.
there.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I like that a lot of these companies are actually moving to that, where it's just very clean and it has very subtle branding. I think that's a nice thing to see. Does yours have the textured shoulder trigger, the buttons and the trigger?
You do. Yeah, I was going to skip to that. Yeah, just it's a slight texture.
It's very
Look
nice.
at that.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Really
Should we do like a pretty B-roll shot here you can use for the edit later, Aish? Also, guys, if you want to know, this is supposed to be dark gray on the joysticks and the face button. David from Retroid reached out and said, sorry about that. This is a sample unit. This is not the production unit.
Oh.
The retail units will have dark gray for the joysticks and the D-pad, not this black color. And down here you have some I/O. You have headphone out 3.5, USB-C there. You have a little notch for your SD card. With some good ones in our description if you're wondering. We have down-firing stereo speakers. Start and select are over here. I keep pressing start and select over there, so that throws me off a little bit.
Throw me off.
These are home. This is home and back. Nothing on the sides. And power button up top, volume up and down, and then we have micro HDMI for video out. And of course, that fabled vent. And here's the intake. So all in all, this feels really solid. I mean, it feels like a 3+ to me, just like maybe a little bit heavier. And a better shell, higher quality shell. Matte, grippy, nice. Love it. Odin 2.
Joey, no.
Our lawyers have advised us not to say anything.
Not to say anything about
No.
similarities. You know, front firing speakers on the Odin 2. That's one thing that I like there, but generally the same joysticks. Face buttons feel very similar on both of these, and the D-pad.
I wish they could have got start and select at the top, maybe.
Yeah.
Or like spread them out like the Odin did.
Yep.
Just a nitpick, but
Just yeah, and this as far as screen size, you know, here you have 6-inch even
Yeah.
versus this, which is the 4.7
4.7
from
yeah.
the RP3 Plus, which is
Yep.
probably that iPhone 6 screen.
Which is
Another-
still going to look great.
I still, yeah, I like the screen a lot.
Yeah.
I have no issues with that screen.
Yeah, it's a pixel density thing. It's a smaller screen, so if you have a lower resolution, it's fine. It's
gonna
still going to
look
look
great.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Here is the closest comparison I can make. This has a D1200 in it. This is by Ioneo. This is the Pocket Air. And this one has an OLED screen, a little bit bigger screen. This has been my go-to Android device for a little while now. I took it on my trip, and I really like that. So I want to see, will this dethrone my personal favorite sort of mid-size Android device? And then here's, of course, a classic, the RG505 from Ambernick.
that thing's huge.
It's still bigger than this with the T618 chipset inside. So they keep making these smaller and smaller. I don't love the joysticks on the Pocket Air. The D-pad could be better, but I like the face buttons and the top buttons here. So comparison to that, you have, I prefer L1 and R1 on the Pocket Air. These are, you can kind of hear it's definitely more clicky, but it feels good. About the same on the shoulders, which I believe these are Hall shoulders as well. They're analog. And joysticks I love a lot more here, especially if you're playing retro. Having the D-pad up top is key. I like that it's up top. It's ergonomically in a good spot, this whole thing. So I think net positive, you're going to have the RP4 Pro come ahead here. Now, this doesn't have the stock Retroid apps on it. I ripped out the emulators and put on sort of the latest, greatest. Joey helped me with that because Joey has written some excellent guides for the community on the latest, greatest for Yuzu, for PS2, for 3DS, all that good stuff. And so he helped me set this up to make sure we are giving you, the viewer, the very best experience. Retroid classically has their emulators on here configured, so they're going to be good settings and they'll be good to go. But if you want to squeeze the most performance out of the D1100 chipset, would recommend, we'll put them in our description, the latest versions of, PPSS, Dolphin, Aether SX2, Citra, and Yuzu. We're not going to do Vita 3K today. We're going to save that for a deep dive review. We're also not going to do NES, 16-bit, any of that stuff. We're going to stick to what you want to see. As far as where to order this, of course, it is at goretroid.com in our description.
There's an affiliate link in there if you want to support us. It adds no extra charge to you, and we would really appreciate it.
So let's take a quick look at the quick settings menu. So up here, you have your Wi-Fi, you have Bluetooth, you have, this time on a Retroid, you have, besides just the RP flip, you have a full fan mode here for standard performance, high performance mode. We have smart and sport mode for the fan. I've been leaving it at smart. Seems to work pretty well. I think you could probably
changes, right? From if you go to performance, it'll show quiet if you do that.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, there's a quiet option now.
That looks familiar. Okay.
So this should be pretty much the same. Pretty familiar. I don't think you need high performance for it to do high performance mode. You know, I know Russ had mentioned, stay tuned for Russ's review, by the way. He says he'll have his out about Monday or so, but this has standard mode, and you can leave it on standard because it should bump up what it needs to when it needs to pull from extra performance. There's also airplane mode, alarms, auto rotate. For shmup mode, you can have that. Do not disturb, great. Usual Android settings, there is a keep screen on button. You can force landscape. There's a battery saver mode. Floating icons always helpful. That adds this little...
Such a stand for that game.
Oh, I actually had it off. It was a me thing. Okay, anyways, yeah, you've seen this before. This has a lot of options like key mapping and all that good stuff. A floating FPS counter. Do a quick little speaker test there.
Speaker sounds pretty good.
It does.
Definitely loud.
Yeah, we got that. As far as like other settings though, you also have a night light, which is great for when you're playing in bed at night. And if you go into regular Android settings, there are OTA updates right there. You can connect all the usual Retroid settings in here. You can switch what kind of input style you want. You can set up your joysticks, calibrate them to make sure they're to your liking. And you can set your dead zone radius, your analog travel. And let's take a look at the screen VSync. Do we have a 60 hertz screen here? Yes/no. So it does look like we have a straight up 60 hertz panel here. Do you guys have any qualms about
Nope.
this? The hard data. Brightness, as far as dimness settings, it gets very, very dim, which I love because I love playing in bed. That's when I'm doing most of my gaming, or late at night. It also gets very bright. We'll have to do some comparisons in our deep dive review of this when Aish gets it after CES. Stay tuned for his review. And then there's a launcher that Retroid makes here. There's other front ends. I also recommend Daigisho, Reset Collection, Console Launcher, and Launchbox. There's some ones off the top of my head that I also recommend. But the Retroid Launcher here is great if you just want to use what's on the device, and it'll, for the most part, scrape box art for you. There's one nitpick I have on the screen. It's hard to see on camera, perhaps, but it's a little bit green tinted to me. And I was asking about this before the stream, and there's supposed to be a setting to change the color temperature that lets you dial that down, but it's not there yet, at least not in this unit. So expect that on the retail units. This one, I just wish I could dial back the green hues a little bit. But it looks crisp. I mean, it's a crisp, clear IPS. If we want to do a comparison here. And then this just, as you can see, it's just a little bit of, I guess, yellow or green hue in comparison to the Odin.
Yeah,
you can kind of see it there.
It's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, you can definitely see it. Yeah.
Did you change any settings in the display?
Wow.
They're like for like. No, I haven't changed settings. Just make sure the brightness is about the same.
Because on some phones you can go and you can change like the color, vibrancy, saturation, and all that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Does that have that option?
Not
Something
yet.
Seems off here. It almost seems
not
like
on this unit. That's the thing.
Oh wait. Hold on. Turn off the night mode.
Do I have night mode on now? On here?
You do. I think you do.
No, I don't.
No. Go to the first option. What was there? Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah, you have it.
No,
it's off.
Yeah.
It's off.
I mean, I'll show you. So if you take a look here, it should be. David said it should be.
It looks
in the
like
display
it's
settings.
set to the like it has like the blue light.
Yeah, it kind of does have that look to it. So maybe it's somehow stuck on. I don't know. See, nightlight's off though. See, there's nightlight.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, wow, that's
now
very
it's orange.
So that means now it's.
Huh.
It's just a little, and again, this isn't the retail panel. This isn't the retail device. This is, it should be at least fixed in software.
I would try to pull up like a website or something and go to like Google or something like that and just pull up just to compare.
Well, since we don't have the animation, like the sound at the beginning and certain things are missing, we're definitely going to get an update for it. And I'm sure they're going to address the saturation, because you can do it with the Odin too. There's like a script you can run to change saturation and all that on that screen. So they can definitely fix it. For anybody that's worried about it. Yeah, for anybody that's worried about it in chat, Retroid is 99% sure they're going to address this before the actual retail units come out. So don't freak out yet.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about it right now. It's just something to sort of note.
Mm-hmm.
And just to repeat it, Stubbs already asked Retroid, and they said that feature is coming. And so relax. Cool. It'll be addressed.
Yeah, they said they should have had it ready to go for this unit, but it's not on here. That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is a review unit, to be fair, so
yeah,
but it's definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah, the Retroid Launcher. So again, this is sort of a no-frills launcher. It keeps it very simple. One thing to note was when you're in the Retroid Launcher, it locks you out of grabbing the menu or doing any touchscreen stuff. Oh. So I don't tend to use it as much, but it's nice to have some pre-scraped stuff. You know, here's Game Boy Advanced. If you wait and let it sit here, it'll start to pull box art. I have not been patient enough for it.
Not having the touchscreen stuff is probably good if you're using this docked.
Yes, yeah, it keeps it nice. And also, if you want to have a kid or somebody who's not familiar with these devices play with it, boot it up and lock it into here. This is this is the place to sort of have folks not mess stuff up. They're gonna be able to launch games. I don't know, we can do a Game Boy Advance really quick. So yeah, there's just a quick look at the launcher.
Okay, so Chris is actually in the chat and he's saying it is the saturation.
Oh, it's a saturation option they just need to add in?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured.
And for those that don't know, Chris works for Retroid, so that's why we're mentioning him. There's a...
Yeah, and also...
Yeah, this is one game I'm very familiar with, and I can immediately tell that
you can tell
that it's a little bit.
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite games. So yeah, for sure.
I did notice it right away on this, so we definitely want to get that changed. But I'm familiar with the panel and other retro devices, so I know that this panel normally is tuned differently. I know normally it's tuned more saturated and less of the green. Let's push a little bit more on Android. So the last Android game we were going to do was Diablo Immortal. And I've jacked the settings up to max. So yeah,
oh man, I almost hit start at the top because I'm so used to the 3+.
Oh, I know, me too. Yeah, I know. It's a little different.
It's going to trip you up for a while.
It is. Like I actually got pretty used to it on the 3+. I mean, it didn't bother me after a while.
That's called settling, Rob. Never settle.
Hey, the 3+ is one of my favorites. I still love it to this day.
I love it too. I got my gray one with some PlayStation buttons. It looks awesome.
I know.
Really quick shout out Mike Ryan, because he's saying in the chat, yes, this will play Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, N64, Saturn, Dreamcast, all of those. They're not going to be an issue at all. You're going to be able to upscale them, and if you put them on a TV, they're going to look awesome. That's why we're not really covering those.
For it.
So we're still getting at full speed.
At 4 times? That's good.
Yeah, so just imagine this plugged into the TV at 1080p. It's going to look great.
I think I'd make Shem pretty proud. I'm really solid at drifting in Ridge Racer, so...
What, this is what, 6X?
6X now, yeah.
And still locked at 30?
Don't worry about my performance.
That's awesome.
Still locked at 30, yeah. We're not dropping yet. We are still at full speed.
Wait, you can't do docked. It's 1080.
No, I think docked, yeah, it's 1080.
1080's max for docked.
What's the FPS? I can't tell.
60.
Yeah, so...
Looks like 60.
Yeah, this is 2X internal, so this is running at 60. Ow,
well,
sorry, Tony. Sorry, Tony. Sorry, Tony.
You wouldn't go higher 2X anyways for GameCube.
Yeah, just for reference, the T618 chips would not be able to do this. What's 720 on this one? 2X or 3X?
3X. Or sorry, 2X.
I think 2X is 720p. So for the screen's native resolution, 2X is pretty much it.
Yep.
This is if you were going to dock it then.
Yeah. Looks like it's fine-ish.
Yeah, 59.
Stubbs, can you show the RAM, so the slide-out panel on the right?
Yeah.
38% RAM.
That's about right. That's about right.
So 8 gigs of RAM, I mean, this thing is so far doing just really well. We're not really running into any issues. We're seeing similar performance, as I can tell, above the Odin Lite, above the Odin Pro, below the Odin 2, but... it is neck and neck with the iNeo Pocket Air so far in all of my testing today. So this is really what you want to see. Is that the normal FPS for this game? I've never played this before.
No, are we still at 3X?
What are we at?
We're at 3X, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not at 2X. It's a demanding game.
Maybe with
getting there.
Skip, it would probably get to 60. So you might need.
It's still not.
You might need to turn some of the little.
Can it do like
It's gonna need some hacks.
Yeah, because we dropped it from 2 to 1, and there was no difference in the FPS. I think even at 3, it was running around that time.
Why don't we try another one?
That is true.
Okay, so here's what we're looking at.
Same issue.
Yeah. So this is one where you might want to go with one of the forks, like MMJR or
GameCube emulation on Android is just kind of fragmented. Well, it's always
remember
been
we didn't use any hacks either, right?
No hacks. This is all default everything. This is I believe just 2x.
Okay.
Just 2x.
2x max.
We're so spoiled.
Display, so that's
We're
fine.
so spoiled.
Dude, I was gonna say like
we're just 2x.
We were underclocking and doing all these crazy things just to get this game at a playable speed, and now it's like it's just 2x.
I wish that wasn't so teeny tiny, but that is 60 FPS, 100% speed, and running at a 2x resolution. Oh, we're seeing some red.
Yeah, you're probably gonna see some dips when you get a bunch of enemies on screen shooting at you.
We'll go beat those guys up.
No, we're still. I mean, I wouldn't leave it. I wouldn't leave it here.
No,
I don't think it's necessary.
It's just not. It's not necessary.
2x is the highest on this screen, anyways. How's the heat? Do you feel any heat or hot or anything?
Good question, Joey. Let's get a baseline.
I gotta translate.
So far,
this
it
to
doesn't
Canadian.
feel. Yeah, it does. So it doesn't feel hot.
It's funny because I'm so used to
It's
actually
warm.
using Celsius for myself.
It's warm. It's warm.
I was gonna
right
say
there.
that's Fahrenheit, so don't freak out.
Yeah.
Anybody.
It's warm.
Celsius. Okay.
No, yeah, it's warm right here.
Great.
30.
This
I
is
love
better
having the
version of
D-pad top.
Comfort.
D-pad top is comfy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm so glad you saw the light on that one.
Yeah,
Well, I think, but the joystick's comfortable too.
maybe shaders.
It has some dips here and there.
It's having. I can hear and I can feel the dips, but it says it's full speed, but it's not. You can see the frame pacing, right?
Yep.
That's not.
I always have like good memories about Mega Man, but every time I try to play them, I get mad.
It's hard.
Really.
Yeah. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I love Mega Man. I grew up playing Mega Man, and then I start playing it, and I'm like, this game sucks.
I love Mega Man.
It doesn't.
It's
suck,
hard.
though.
It's
a great
hard,
game.
but it's just.
I know.
It's just.
have
It's
to
a
get
pain.
good.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
have to get good.
You can't
Mega
shoot
Man-
up, and that makes me mad.
What? You don't need to be able to shoot up.
That's
crazy.
We are
crazy.
in game in Red
I mean,
Dead
that's-
Redemption on the RP4 Pro.
There it
Sure
is. There it
as
goes.
hell.
Broken.
Hey, it's fun to
Hey.
see it though.
There we
Hey,
go.
give users some time though.
Yeah, I was gonna
Give
say,
user
give the
some-
user team some credit though. The fact that this even
Look at
happened,
that.
like, this is
10
insane.
FPS. Here we go. 25 FPS. We're getting a little bit of drops. Oh, it's stabilizing out. Let the shaders load up.
That's promising though. Within a couple
That's
months,
very promising.
or a
Yeah.
few weeks actually. I don't even want to go up to a few months. We
We're
should
getting
be
up-
able to play that.
We're getting up to 40 FPS now. RAM is at 42%,
Yeah.
sir, and 70% battery life.
That's really
We're
good.
looking
That's
good.
really good.
We're
I'll
looking
tell you,
hot,
based
hot,
on my
hot.
XP Plus experience, the Dimensity chips are no joke. I mean,
Stay tuned for our deep dive review, both from Aish, from Joey, from Rob, and we're going to have more content for you. But as you can see, it plays an array of titles. The D1100 is a very nice chipset that can push it to the limit, but Android emulation is our new bottleneck now. We're seeing that more and more, especially if it's not a Snapdragon chip. We're just needing the emulators to be developed further. So everything that you can do in Android for this chipset is doing it admirably. If you're interested in this, you can, of course, order it from goretroid.com, or the affiliate link in our description does help us out. We really appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your friends. Share with your grandmother. We are here to talk about retro handhelds, and we're not going to stop anytime soon. Special thanks again to our subs and all of our patrons. You guys make this possible for us. We are so very thankful that you are here to support what we're doing. Well, stay tuned for Aish's deep dive, Rob's content at The Retro Tech Dad. Check him out in our description. Joey at Joey's Retro Handhelds. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the stream today.
oh yeah, it's always a blast.
It's just so much
I love
more
hanging out
fun
with you guys.
to do this with friends. It just makes the content just a lot more fun. Thank you all for watching, and please remember, on behalf of these guys, to take care of your handhelds, take care of each other, and have a great night.